All right, guys, this is Mongolian Mindset today, and we got Shelly with us. Thomas is at work, so we won't have him today. We have um Mateus. Mateus.
Yeah.
All right, Mateus with us today. Is it Mateus? Mateus?
Yes, but Matt.
Mateus. Matt.
Everyone calls
Okay,
him
we
Matt.
got Matt with us today, man, and we're gonna be helping him find his personality type. Comment below what you think his personality type is, just visually. And let's get into it, man. You don't have to go into any traumas, anything like that. Just feel free to respond however you want to. This is your show, it's not our show.
Yeah,
But can you introduce yourself?
yeah. I'm Matt. From the UK. Um, lived out, born in the Caribbean, Saint Lucia. Um, moved to the UK in 1990. Finished my primary school, high school, did a bit of college, and worked self-employed as a in the construction industry. Um, yeah, I don't know what more to say, but to add to my character, I describe myself as quite a quiet person generally,
Hmm.
um, quite introverted, as which I'm more becoming comfortable with that fact, sort of thing. Um, what else? I love information. I
Hmm.
absolutely love information. I can't get enough of it. Like
Hmm.
reading, I can literally like read or audiobooks, just listen all day. And because of my work, it allows
Hmm.
me to just consume like anything of my interest and stuff. Um so I'm a bit of a nerd for that sort of thing. And I've sort of found out that I was a bit of a nerd probably in my mid to late 30s. I was kind of thinking, yeah, I'm not really, like maybe like the stereotypical person that I was trying to be over the years, sort of thing. I was like, you know. Um, what else do you want to know? Hello.
So, what got you into MBTI, man?
Um, it's basically just soul searching, really. It's a lot of lack of self awareness, I guess, and a lot of questions that I wanted answers from my childhood.
Hmm.
So it kind of led me to this long journey, sort of going through philosophy and going like all around the houses. And MBTI and psychology, I think, came last, but in reality, it should have really come first, to be honest. The MBTI and the Enneagram, I'd say probably the last couple of years, I sort of really sort of getting to know, and I wasn't too familiar. I got to be honest. So most of the stuff I was just consuming, but not really understanding until I'd say probably about a year ago. It's really started to really identify and really hone in that. Yeah, um, I can really hone in sort of a lot of the things on the MBTI, the Enneagram. I'm still getting to grips with that one a bit. I
Hmm.
haven't really put too much time into that, but yeah, the MBTI.
Okay.
Most of what they say, I think I definitely am an INTP, and I'd be very surprised if you say otherwise.
All right, man.
On the yeah,
All right.
MBTI,
All right.
but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're gonna be surprised, but keep going. So where do you see yourself in 10 years?
In 10 years, I financially set, not having to, having lots of time to um to 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 be with a family and raise my family up to um and just plenty of time to learn that really dive in deep,
Mhm.
and provided that I am financially free, then to really travel to the places that um I've been really studying and stuff,
Mhm.
particularly like stuff to do with ancient Greece and Egypt and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
traveling sort of those ancient places. I really love delving into the depths of that and stuff, and uh,
All right, man. Sounds dope. So what got you into construction?
I really didn't know what I wanted to do at the time. It was a case of a lack of self awareness. My father, he was in construction at the time, and coming from a Caribbean background, it's a drum in your head. You must get a trade. Is
Mhm.
number one. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I went into painting and decorating in college. And I completed that, and went after that, worked for my father for about another 4 years, and then I went on my own, self-employed since, and I've been doing that ever since, probably for about past 15, 20 years. Looking back, I think my first love has always been cars. So, you know, when I look back and I see, if I could talk to my younger self, I would tell myself just to go straight to college to be a mechanic.
So what about mechanics do you like?
The fact that I can just take something apart and put things together, like, and to me, and in my job is the same, especially I can, but with mechanics, it's so technical. There's so much like there for me to get delve in and get stuck into that. You know, it's something that I can just spend hours buried into it, no problem at all. Yeah. So.
What do you think is something that you do that sabotages yourself?
Analysis paralysis. Definitely. Overthinking. I think having lots of ideas and not actually putting them to good use, you know, and regretting that fact, and sometimes even thinking of some brilliant ideas, maybe some like possibly inventions, and then 6 months down the line I'm actually seeing it, or a year down the line seeing it out there, and I'm thinking maybe if I had that more gusto about me, you know, to go out and put some of my ideas to a test, and you know, I feel that, you know, to put my mind out to the test, and you know, I kind of see myself, if I was to have like a big workshop, creative workshop, where I can just tinker about and build, create, fix, restore. Those are the kind of things that I really sort of enjoy, you know. And the quiet and outdoors. I really like the quiet outdoors. I'll describe myself as a more of a suburb. Like if I was to say describe a place where, like a living place, it would be somewhere really quiet but very close to the city at the same time. So basically, I love the peace and quiet, but still want to be close to where the action is at the same time. That's how I kind of describe myself.
Yeah. If you let's say if money was no issue, money, no issue, what would you do?
I'd travel a lot. And I'd encourage a lot of people to come and travel with me on explore and find and really I've got a thing about like seeing the world for what it really is, you know, not I guess most of us grew up being naive and stuff, but I really think like on my journey, sort of like seeing truth and reality of the world and stuff is really important for me. So the more that I learn, the more that I realize like there's just a labyrinth of stuff that I'm just not aware of, and so many dots to connect that is so pertinent to our history and lives and stuff. That's something that I'd really just I think I'd focus a lot of my time on that. A lot of personal development stuff, fitness, health, diet, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, awesome. If you had 3 wishes, man, what would you wish for and why?
Financially free, whatever that means. So that means just not having any financial worries, no matter what the economy is doing, no matter who decides to wage war and disrupt our, you know. I think the other thing is funny one is to be able to fly, because not literally, but maybe fly a plane is. I have a lot of my family is spread out across the world. My grandmother is South America. My mom's in New York. Family, England, Canada, France, and just to be able to travel freely and really make the world as small as I feel that it is now, is something I'd say. I say the third one is to end unnecessary suffering.
Why unnecessary suffering?
Sometimes I sit back and I watch what's going on in the world, and I'm sitting. Sometimes I sit by the river and I think of like the likes of Putin and Kim Jong-un and the likes, and the moves that they've made in their lives and the disruptions that they've caused. And I think like I'm sitting by the river and I really think to myself, like, do they not appreciate peace, quiet, and tranquility? I'm sure everybody does. And it really bugs me that human beings can let such good things pass them by, get so narrow-minded, and I don't know, just cause so much suffering with impunity, and still go and sit by the river and fish and appreciate that. Like it really does. That stuff really does get me thinking. Like it doesn't compute to me. It doesn't make sense.
What do you think is one thing that could cure the world?
Love and awareness. I have to say too, love and awareness. A lot of awareness.
If you could give the world one skill, what would you give it and why? Like one skill you can give it, the whole world.
To speak.
To speak? Why speak?
I think the world needs to really communicate with us. We are speaking on behalf of the world, and we are waking up to maybe the effects that we have, the damages that we have done to the world. But I think to actually hear the earth speak itself would have a lot more gravitas to it, to a lot of people, and we'd probably get our act together immediately.
Okay. What is some potential, like, let's say if you were to go to jail for anything, what do you think it would be and why?
It would probably be for someone taking, someone doing something to my kid, or my, to someone really close to me. Defending my family, definitely, and some strong principles, yeah.
Okay. What do you think is, like, if you're on a team, what do you think as a person you provide to the team?
Insight. So probably see things from outside the box, not necessarily be the leader, but to be able to see things from outside the box before things maybe happen, and to strategize without necessarily being at the forefront.
Okay. If you could be remembered for anything, what would it be and why?
Asking some deep questions there, man. I guess just a real positive impact on the people around me. To inspire the generation around me. And I guess maybe just the best of my personality, which is generally like laid back, pretty positive, and yeah.
All right. So if I fast forward your life to 100 years old, what is something you think you would miss out on?
I think being around people that's in their mid-90s and seeing how they live is it's people. It's actually to when you're at that age, when you get to that age, generally everybody around you that you've ever known is gone. Like everyone, shopkeeper, whatever, your teeth, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
You through like last man standing, and it's very surreal to see people, to see, you know, one woman in particular, she's not 96 that I know, to see like everybody around her, it's gone. And she's got her nieces and nephews, but I think it's the people that you news readers, you know, it's just, I think I've never thought of it until sort of probably the last couple of days, because I just imagine that everybody that you've grown up around gone. I think that's probably going to be, I don't know, it'd be good to reach that age and to see the world and how it's developed. But on the other hand, that comes with a consequence of constant loss.
Okay. Hmm. You can be born in any time period. Where would you want to be born and why?
Definitely the future. Maybe I say probably about 3,000 years ahead. So
2,000 years ahead. Wow, I think that's the first time I heard that. Why?
because I'm thinking more of the lines of, I'm hoping that we as a humanity have developed to a point that by the time I'm in that time period, a lot of the unnecessary suffering is just done, and we've taken we've been, our history is spanning 2,000 years plus, and we're still going around the same circle of war, 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 and you know, just I just kind of think that kind of need a bit of time. Hopefully, you sort of become conscious to a better world. I don't know.
All right, man. Shirley, how you feeling here?
Pretty confident. All
right, man. So we're gonna go ahead and give it to you there. All right, man. I got bad news for you. All right,
Okay.
brother. All right, so I'm gonna break it to you.
Right.
Unfortunately, you're not an INTP, brother.
I'm not.
No.
Really?
Let's go ahead and start with what you really are. I mean, let's just go ahead and go down a list. Okay,
Yeah.
so the first thing you said was like life was like a long journey and it led me here or whatever. That's progression. That's progression, man. That's progression. That's not outcome. INTPs are outcome focused. I didn't know what I wanted to do. That's like SINE type thing. Taking things apart and putting them things together is something that you like to do, and that's more of a TI approach to things. Analysis paralysis, overthinking. So I'm gonna come back to that. I thought that was more of an Enneagram 5 thing.
Okay.
Okay. Lots of ideas and not putting them to good use. So you got lots of ideas, but you're not putting them to good use. I would say that's anything. Just lots of ideas. You said something about connecting the dots. That's also any. You said financial freedom, the ability to fry and end unnecessary suffering. I go back to this mama suffering. Yeah, mama suffering. If you're watching my videos, you kind of even know where I'm going when I say mama suffering. That's gonna be SINE. That's a particular personality type that always complains about fucking suffering.
Right.
Don't like narrow-minded people, because they cause suffering or whatnot. So that's more SINE again. Love and awareness was a thing you thought like everybody should learn. That's more of an FE thing. Communicate the effects and damages and consequences. You're talking about consequential awareness. That's NE again. You said you would go to jail for like basically taking on someone else's needs. So that's more of an FE approach. You said you like to be outside the box and you like to strategize before things happen. You can let people know. So strategy is going to fall more in line with the NT, and you're doing pretty good with your verbal agility. NE DOMs seem to be pretty good with verbal agility. That's the way they talk and communicate themselves. Suffering, you want to go 2,000, 3,000 years ahead, hoping that the suffering wasn't there. And you see like the same things go over and over, the wars over and over. That's more of a cycle type thing. So that's abstraction and NE. So with that being said, man, you're an ENTP, man. ENTP. ENTP. Yeah. You're not an INTP. You're ENTP. So
Really?
yeah, you're progression, man. So with that being said, you be progression focused. So you're all about the journey. There's multiple things in here that you went through that was very journey focused. As an INTPs are outcome focused. They're looking at the end product of things.
It makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. And like when you started talking, dude, you could really fucking talk. It's like you could really fucking talk, dude. You could really fucking talk.
But in the I guess in a crowd of new people, I wouldn't be like that.
I mean, the thing about an ENTP is like once you let them start talking, they can
Yeah.
just go. They can just fucking go, man.
Right. Okay.
And I would say most likely you're Enneagram 5.
Okay.
Probably W4 because you seem to be very philosophical. But that's my thoughts there. But you're definitely ENTP, man. ENTP.
I wouldn't call myself a social butterfly.
Well, ENTPs, you got. So the thing about ENTPs is they're like the most introverted extrovert. The most introverted extrovert. The thing is my brother hates people. My older brother, he fucking hates people. I called him today, his phone doesn't work. And I text him, he responds. And I'm like, yo, bro, you have way too much money to not be paying your bills. And he's like, I kind of like people not being able to get in contact with me. I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, that's some ENTP shit,
Right. That sounds. Yeah, I can relate.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, that's some ENTP shit, bro. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But you kept hoppering back on more suffering.
Mm.
You didn't want to suffer.
I've
Other people suffering.
The war.
Huh?
I've been doing a lot of the war stuff, and it's just like it seems very tiresome, very tiresome to seeing this thing going on and on. And what I think watching like I've been interested in geopolitics, so watching a man transform from 2014. I've been watching Putin, not just him his speeches, and for him to turn the dime to what he is now. I mean, they kept warning about him, but to disrupt the world like that was just it just sometimes I just think to myself, what is this guy doing?
Yeah. So just didn't, bro. You just initiated that. That'd be initiating. I would have hit you for initiating if I was like typing you.
Really?
Yeah, I would have hit you just now for initiating because you just initiated that whole like thing that you just went on.
Right. Okay.
From 2014 to whatever, you're watching the whole thing. That's progression as well. So you're watching the progression of someone else. So that would be progression and initiating just there. Yeah. So
okay. Yeah, ENTP definitely surprising me.
Yeah.
I guess I'll have to learn about that personality then.
Yeah. I mean, it seems to be a very overpowered type at this point, man. I mean,
ENTP.
yeah, it seems like a lot of them go into like acting, stuff like that in movies, and they just seem to be very versatile, man. Very versatile. Very versatile acting. They do music, channel like a lot of them go through a lot of suffering, you know. So they'll channel it into like acting, or they'll channel it into music or whatnot.
Okay, what you're saying makes sense. A lot of things that make sense. I'm sort of
Mhm.
like recently I've got into music, particularly DJing, as a hobby,
Mhm.
and you know, a lot of creative stuff, a lot of art stuff, and you know,
Mhm.
I never really had, I never really identified it with me until um, I really started looking at this really stuff that I'm always looking at on online and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And start seeing, yeah, most of the stuff is art based music. Um,
Mhm.
a lot of the stuff I look at is like to do with movies, like breakdown of the characters and the movies to understand
Mhm.
the movie stuff like that. Mo- I was did a not a stint of, but I was wanting to do a bit of modeling about 10 years ago.
Mhm.
Um, it's something that I felt that which very really surprised me. Although I consider myself quite introverted and shy, but as soon as I was behind the camera, I was fine. I
Mhm.
was okay, and I was sort of um I was sort of making the photographer feel at ease, which was a bit strange. You know,
Mhm.
'cause, I went in feeling really nervous, but literally as soon as it was go, yeah, I switched on. So, I don't know if that means something. Maybe I should.
I don't know, man. I mean, you'll see ENTPs everywhere, bro. Like movies, fucking music, fucking just everywhere, man. It's just
Yeah,
fucking everywhere. Um, yeah, man, it's pretty dope, man. Are you in our Facebook group?
I am. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I've joined it. I've watched a couple of videos
Mm-hmm.
about it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when I sort of got the date, I sort of got into this frenzy of like, I need to brush up and find, you know, like.
It's all good, man.
So then I go, so I went in so deep and it got so, I was like, you know what, let me just come as I am. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah.
It's dope, man. You got any questions?
Yeah, it's really, in terms of, I know there's the nuance between, INTPA or ENTPA and ENTPT.
I don't really look into that
Something
shit,
that
man.
you,
I don't really look into that
know,
the T and the A, man. I think I mean I think it's kind of like worthless to me, you know. T and A is like, bro, it's understand your functions, understand your Enneagram, and pretty much like work on yourself. The T and the A is like, are you assertive? Some types just flat out tend to be more assertive. Like mine is ENTJ. Like it's hard to find an ENTJ that's not assertive, you know. Like and yeah, and
okay,
then you'll have like ENTPs that may not be assertive, but then like they go through a period of suffering, and then they're like, "Fuck this," you know. I'm not taking anyone's shit anymore, and now they're fucking assertive, you know. So it's like that's kind of a
I think they got it in them, but they make it maybe keep it more repressed, maybe or something that they.
well, informative people in general don't like to tell people exactly what to do. That's why they give extra information, you know, to give someone like an inclination to do something. They don't want to just flat out just tell you like go fucking do this. So they'll give you a shitload of information. Or like they'll put it in a way that you kind of have to guess it or you got to figure it out yourself.
Right.
So it's like indirect. But so generally they don't like to tell people what to do. But like I said, you'll get ENTPs that will like flip the switch, like like Tupac after he went to jail for that rape thing and he came back out,
Yeah.
totally different person, boy.
Yes. Yeah. I grew up with him. I'm a big fan of his. So
Mhm.
I still see a lot of the clips online and stuff. And you know, when he was in court and he stood up to the judge and just told him, "I've been in this court case for like 2 weeks. You haven't looked at me in the eye once."
Mhm.
And he said they made the whole court just their heads, all their heads just was in shame. And
Mhm.
it's, I don't know where he got where his spirit and that bravery comes from, but he's yeah, they said we
ENTP
have.
as well. He's an ENTP as well. But like I said, they, after a while, man, they be done. You know, they're done. You know, letting people like they're done suffering, man. Like there's be a point to where like they just done. Like my older brother,
It makes sense. It's a lot.
He's just always been that kind of guy. He's always kind of been alpha as fuck. He done bullshit. Like he don't bullshit. Like he does bullshit. Like he's kind of like Andrew Tate-ish, but he's not like Andrew Tate, you know. When I said Andrew Tate is kind of like he's very alpha.
Yeah.
Very alpha ENTP. He doesn't really play that radio.
Has a lot of FU money, I guess, as well. And
I mean, my brother he's just bold, man. He's just bold. To me, he's a little crazy, but you know, that's me.
Yeah.
But you know, like I said, like ENTPs can flip a switch and they're done, man. They're done with people's shit. Kanye West is pretty much done with people's shit.
I see. Yeah. So does it look like a meltdown to the outside world in general? Then
I look like a meltdown, but it's like they just hit the switch. You know, it's like I'm done taking people's shit. You know, I'm done suffering for other people else. I'm gonna make other people fucking suffer. And that's when the ENTP gets scary. That's when they can get really fucking scary. That's so that's like Enneagram 4. You might be a 4, but I would probably say 5W4.
That's what when I first did the Enneagram, it came up as a 4.
Came up as a 4?
Yeah.
So you could be, I mean, you could be a 4, could be a 5, but you're gonna be a 4W5 or 5W4.
Okay.
That's gonna be you. But yeah, like I said, you know, when they go sexual,
yeah, it makes sense.
Make everybody else suffer.
Yeah, it makes in terms
like
of
the Joker.
What I went through with my growing up, my childhood with my father. I won't go into too much detail, but he did that, and when he did that, he literally decimated the whole family, literally. And I really don't think like I think he had enough. I think he'd been through a lot of suffering, you know, and a lot of, you know, stuff that, you know, happened. And literally, yeah, when it was his time, that's exactly what you're saying. He did.
Hey, you gotta watch that shit, man. Because you don't want to lose your whole life, man. Can't be making bonehead decisions out here. Can't be making bad decisions out here, because when they go in that mode, they make very terrible moves, long-term bad moves, you know. And understandably, you got to face those consequences as well, you know. So yeah, you got to monitor that shit, man. You can't just let it build up and then you explode, and then now you got like your life's fucking shit now, you know. Make sure you always make good rational decisions, man. I mean, people are some of their choices, man. I don't give a damn what anyone says. Like, you are some of your fucking choices. Like, you may have had like a tough life or something, but like a lot of things later on came down to your choices. Outside, like after you got past like 25, a lot of that shit came down to your choices. You know, you decided to stay in that environment. You could have moved. You could have did whatever. There's a ton of opportunities and ton of things you could have done. You know, you change your environment, you could change yourself, you know. People don't really understand that, but hey.
And yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons I'm here, to be honest, is to really end generational curses, so to speak. Is that's one of my main determinations and stuff. So
yeah, man, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, we'll be in the group, man. It was a pleasure talking to you, man.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
All right, brother. Take it easy, man.
Okay, man. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Okay.